5 plagues had fallen on Egypt, and still Pharaoh would not bow. But God was not finished. 5 more were coming. Plague 6, boils. God told Moses to throw ashes into the air, and painful sores broke out on every person and animal in Egypt. Even the magicians could not stand before Moses, but Pharaoh hardened his heart. Plague 7, hail. Fire and ice fell from the sky. The hail struck down everything in the field, every plant, every tree. Such destruction had never been seen in Egypt. This time, Pharaoh called for Moses and said, "I have sinned. The Lord is righteous." But when the hail stopped, Pharaoh hardened his heart again. Plague 8, locusts. An east wind brought them in the morning. They covered the face of the whole land, so that the land was darkened. Not a green thing remained. Pharaoh begged Moses to remove them, and God drove them into the Red Sea. Not one locust remained. But Pharaoh hardened his heart, and he did not let the people go. Plague 9, darkness. Moses stretched out his hand toward heaven, and for 3 days Egypt was buried in pitch darkness, a darkness that could be felt. No one could see, no one could move. But in Goshen, where Israel lived, there was light. The same darkness that paralyzed Egypt could not touch the people of God. 9 plagues. 9 times Moses had stood before Pharaoh. 9 times God had shown his power, and still Pharaoh would not let them go. His heart harder with every miracle, his pride unmoved by every sign. But God had one final word, one final plague, the one that would break him. And God said to Moses, "About midnight I will go out in the midst of Egypt. Every firstborn in the land shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne to the firstborn of the slave girl behind the mill, and all the firstborn of the cattle. There shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there has never been, nor ever will be again." But God made a way for his people. He gave Moses specific instructions. Every household of Israel was to take a lamb, a perfect lamb without blemish, and slaughter it at twilight, and take the blood and put it on the 2 doorposts and the lintel of the house. This was not just a ritual, this was a rescue. God was saying, "When I see the blood, I will pass over you. The plague shall not touch you. The lamb would die, so that the firstborn would live." The people of Israel prepared. They ate in haste that night, sandals on their feet, staffs in their hands, dressed and ready, because after tonight, everything would change. 400 years of waiting, 400 years of slavery, ending in a single night by the hand of God. And at midnight, the Lord went out, and he struck every firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sat on his throne to the firstborn of the captive in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the livestock. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, a sound that filled every street, every house, every heart. For there was not a house where someone was not dead. But in Goshen, it was silent. The blood was on the doorposts, and the angel had passed over. Not one of the children of Israel had been touched. This was the difference between Egypt and Israel. Not their strength, not their wisdom, only the blood of the Lamb. And Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron in the night and said, "Rise up, get out from among my people, both you and the people of Israel. Go and serve the Lord as you have said. Take your flocks and your herds and be gone, and bless me also." The man who had said, "Who is the Lord?" the man who had refused 9 times, the man whose heart had been harder than stone, was broken, not by an army, not by a sword, but by one night, one lamb, one act of God. 400 years of slavery over. One night, one lamb, one act of God.